Hey guys, it's Paul once again, and this time I'm actually going to do another VHS review. It's been months, right? It's been a long time, and I looked at my shelves in the back and I thought, which movie would I rent at a video store based on the title or the artwork? I just wanted to go totally random and watch a movie I haven't seen in the longest time, and I chose the Freeway Maniac. Not based on the artwork, because the artwork is kind of friggin' stupid, if you ask me, but based on the name. It has the word Maniac in it, and that kind of tells you it might be a slasher movie, something really cool. And the back of the box has all this blood on it, all that blood splatter against a white back, which is really cool. It was released by Media Home Entertainment in 1989. The artwork on the front, it's not very good at all. What you have is a truck that appears to have hit somebody. It looks like some kind of drawing artwork. Someone was commissioned to draw or paint or whatever the case may be. It looks kind of silly, kind of stupid, and I'm sure what probably happened is that media saw the artwork that was given to them for this movie and they thought, well, this is really tame. It doesn't really promote it as this kind of psycho slasher splatter film. So they thought, let's get a screenshot of the movie, last second thing, and just cut out the killer holding an axe from a screenshot of the movie and paste it on the front of the box. And that's really what they did. If you look closely, that's all it is, and it looks really horrible because it feels like he's almost photoshopped right onto the cover, like he doesn't belong there. The movie starts with a typical slasher beginning. What we have is a young boy who witnesses his mother having sex with her boyfriend in the kitchen. Like, why would you have sex in the kitchen when you got a little kid home in the house? It doesn't make sense. Mother finds out, goes to console the kid. Kid comes out of the closet with a knife and hacks up mom or stabs her. The little boy then goes to the kitchen where the mom's boyfriend is, and this guy's a big muscular guy. I'm thinking, this little boy cannot possibly kill this guy just by stabbing him in the back. And that's exactly what happens. This little boy attacks the guy and stabs him a bunch of times, and the guy dies. I mean, this guy could just push the kid away. Just a stupid, foolish little thing that just doesn't make sense. And I can't imagine anyone writing the script or directing this thought that, yeah, a little boy could kill a grown man, a big, muscular man. And where else would this lead but to a mental hospital several years later? Now, we're in a mental hospital where this kid is, and we're introduced to some of the psychos there, and I guess the camera lingers a little too long on these psychos. They really serve no purpose in the movie, but I guess the director thought they kind of looked cool because they were psycho. So we see them being a little crazy for a little while, and then they're out smoking cigarettes in the back, which is kind of stupid. I didn't know they gave cigarettes out to these mental patients. Then we are introduced to one of the guards in the hospital, and he's pretty much giving a tour of the hospital to a new recruit. And funny thing is, they come to a door, and the guard who's giving the tour is pretty much like, here we got this psycho named Arthur. He's totally crazy. He killed his mother and her boyfriend, and he's telling this trainee all these horrible things about this guy, yet he opens the door to kind of, I guess, introduce this new trainee to this psycho killer. And it just doesn't make sense. If this guy's as dangerous as this guard says, why are you opening the door to let this kid take a peek at him? Guy comes out, storms out with a chair, I guess chased up to a tower in this building. Some silly scene happens next, and it's probably the most memorable scene in this movie because it's totally ridiculous. He takes that guard, pushes him out of this window out of the tower. He hits the ground, and he jumps out of the tower window, lands on him like he was some sort of mattress or trampoline. It's a freaking joke. It's kind of stupid, actually. I cannot imagine that the people who made this movie took it seriously at all. I cannot imagine that, because there's too many things in this movie that just doesn't make sense. Then we're introduced to another character, and pretty much we have this model actress type, and she's doing auditions and stuff, and she finds out her husband or boyfriend has been cheating on her. She's all depressed, so she runs out into the middle of nowhere with her car, just driving along the road, and her car dies out. And she's walking along the road, and she's a really beautiful model, so as you can imagine, she would attract attention. She walks to this very grimy redneck gas station or mechanic shop. She's asking for help. These guys are eyeballing her down, doing catcalls, and eventually one guy tries to make a move on her to I guess rape her or attack her, do whatever his intentions were. Right before he does, a bell goes off signifying that there's someone at the gas pump. And she runs to the car for help, like, help me, this guy's about to rape me or attack me. But the guy in the car is our psycho killer who just escaped from the mental hospital. So this is not her lucky day at all. I mean, first her boyfriend cheated on her, then her car breaks down, then she's got this redneck trying to grope her and take advantage of her, then she runs for help, and the guy she goes to for help even wants to kill her and strangle her. So today's not her day by any means. And then there's this whole chase that ensues. She jumps in the car, pretty much runs him over with the car, and then he ends up being in jail again. They're escorting him back to the prison or mental home, wherever he was at, and he attacks the guy guarding him in the back of the truck, pretty much grabs his nuts, twists, and I think he throws him out of the back of the truck, and this guy has escaped again. Meanwhile, while this is all happening, this girl is getting a gig, landing a gig on this sci-fi movie, and pretty much the director-producer want to exploit this woman's true story of how she survived this psycho killer. There's a lot of pointless scenes in it, I guess, just to show that he's a true psycho, but it's kind of stupid. He hitchhikes, he steals a Mack truck, and at one scene he's tailgating behind this pickup truck full of teenagers. One of the teenagers get ran over. There's one ridiculous scene in the movie where he leaves the Mack truck, right? I think he ran out of gas, and he's walking down a road, and it keeps going on and on and on, and I'm thinking, how long is this going to last? Is the camera going to stay on him as we watch him walk down this road? And it lasts what feels like a minute or so. I think to myself, did the editor not realize that this shot was much too long? There's scenes where he's in the woods and he's howling like a wolf, and there's a scene where there's like a random rattlesnake or some kind of snake. He bashes it with a rock, eats it raw right there. These really ridiculous scenes, and I can't imagine anyone taking these scenes seriously. I have to think that this might be like a comedy horror. And in another way, it seems to try to be an action horror movie, but it's also overall a comedy movie. And the music also signifies that too. The music in this movie is all over the place. So she's on the set of this monster movie, this sci-fi movie. He finally catches up with her. He knows where the movie is being shot because he heard her talk about it on the TV in the mental hospital. While he's there, he finds an old lady in a car, and he needs to steal her car. Old lady is played by a young teenage girl, it looks like, and it's really ridiculous. You know that it's just a young girl trying to pass herself over as an older woman. That was really ridiculous. So by this point, you can imagine the movie cannot be taken seriously at all. This movie is a true joke. He finally gets to the set of the movie, and he pretty much kills a bunch of crew, but the deaths in this movie are not gory, and if he has a chainsaw, you think he's going to hack up somebody, there's going to be blood everywhere, but there really isn't. Everything's off screen. There's a scene where he's fighting somebody, he's punching them in the face, like, really hard multiple times, but even that is obscured by some kind of object in the foreground. They cannot hire, like, a special effects crew to just friggin' add some effects to this movie to make it look more gruesome, because that's the real only selling point of this movie, would be that, because the movie is truly terrible. He kills somebody with it's like a bear claw prop. In one scene in the movie, he actually becomes a zombie on the set of the movie, and then as a zombie he kills a producer, this super sleazy producer who's having sex with the other actresses in the movie. There is some deaths in the movie, a nice handful of deaths, but they're really, really bad. There's one scene where has a campfire. The fire marshal comes and he just sits down and chills with the guy, and then he sees that our psycho killer is roasting some kind of bird, and what happens is Arthur just pretty much snaps his neck. I mean, these are very tame kills in the movie. They're not very thought out at all. It's not a very good slasher movie because you really don't see anything, but it's entertaining to see this guy totally psycho because he just acts over the top, and it kind of reminds me of Home Sweet Home, where this psycho is just acting way over the top in this role, but there's really not a lot of blood, not a lot of gore. There is some blood, like in the chainsaw scene, you see blood splatter on him, and there's some blood splatter in the movie, but very little. It's not the kind of hack 'em up kind of slash you would imagine, and it just feels awkward because the movie feels like an action movie, and kind of like a horror movie, but it feels more action, probably because it's a lot of the movies shot during the daytime, and they do that to save money. And also because of the music. Now, there's an interesting story with the music itself, and I was watching the beginning of the movie, and there's an opening credit that said original songs by Robbie Krieger. And I'm a die-hard Doors fan. I love the Doors. I've always loved the Doors ever since I was a freaking young kid. And I said, that can't be Robbie Krieger, guitarist of the legendary band The Doors. It can't be. Robbie's a kind of a common name, Krieger's a common name, so it's just a coincidence, right? So I'm watching the movie, and in the movie there's some guitar playing that's definitely Robbie's style. I'm a hardcore fan of the Doors, and I know his style. I said, I can't believe this has to be him. What would Robbie Krieger be doing making music for such a super obscure, low-budget piece of crap film from 1988? I mean, how would his music end up in this movie? But maybe I'm still wrong. Maybe it is a coincidence. Maybe I got it all wrong, so I go online and do some research. I go to the end of the credits of the movie, and I saw the music company name, who holds the copyright to that music, and I was able to link that company name back to Robbie Krieger, which is absolutely amazing. This is a breakthrough for me because this has not been posted anywhere. It's not on Wikipedia. It's not on his IMDb account. Nowhere really talks about this, that he did the music for this really super obscure movie. But doing some further research, I found out that the music company is owned by Robbie's friend. The producers of Freeway Maniac came to him and said, we just need some tracks to put in our movie. And he's like, sure, I got some guitar playing tracks. And I think that's pretty much how Robbie's music got into the movie. I don't think he made the songs particularly just for the movie itself. It's just the way things go in Hollywood. It's the same thing that happened in Meat Cleaver Massacre, where Christopher Lee's footage was sold to a super obscure movie company, and they ended up using that for this really low-budget crap movie. This sort of thing happens. But it's really cool to see two passions of mine being the music of the Doors and this obscure horror slasher kind of stuff from the 80s. It's really cool to see them cross paths, and that was totally cool. And I don't think a lot of people know that about this movie, and I don't think a lot of people know that about Robbie Krieger. There's very little talk about that online, and I feel like I really discovered something pretty cool. That's probably the most interesting part of the movie, but overall, the movie is worth a watch. It's entertaining because this guy's totally psycho, some really ridiculous and funny scenes in the movie, some funny dialogue. You could sit through the movie. It's not too boring. It keeps you interested, but I wish the movie was more of a dark movie, like more of the horror scenes were shot in the dark, because that really sets the tone for a slasher movie. Also, the music should have been just all slasher type music, and what you really have in here is action music, some horror music, and you got this random guitar playing that doesn't belong in the movie at all. So it's worth a watch. Go on IMDb and you'll see people talking about this movie, looking for it on DVD. Some people truly love this movie. I think it's because this guy's truly a psycho, like over the top, just maniacal guy. The director, I forget the director's name, Paul Winters it is. I think it's either his wife or his sister. She plays a leading role in this movie, and it was her one and only role in her whole life, which is funny because everybody else, a lot of the people and the rest of the cast, played in multiple TV shows, had flourishing careers, but our lead in the movie pretty much just did this and that was it. And she did an okay job in the movie, but there were a lot more people in the movie that were probably more qualified to play the lead role. A lot of stuntmen were involved in this movie. I think our killer is played by a stuntman. Some of the stuntmen have gone on to do big Hollywood multi-million-dollar movies like Titanic and such. So that's pretty much it with Freeway Maniac. I don't know what I'll review next. I guess it'll be a surprise. So that's pretty much it. See you guys later. Have a good night and keep watching those slasher films.
There is a place where a maniac waits.
I ain't no doctor, but I'm telling you, I've seen this guy in action.
Now, Arthur's on a rampage, out to kill everyone in sight. Until one woman fights back.
She was the one that escaped from that maniac.
It made her a hero, and Arthur's mad about it.
We got an escaped mental patient. We think he might be somewhere in the area.
What do you think? He's going to cross the desert and find her just like that? He's a psycho.
But Arthur's out to prove that there's no escape from the high-speed terror of the Freeway Maniac.